Hello, my name is Sadek Shahadu. I am the current executive director for the Wikimedia and Suicide Group, and also the West African language coordinator at Art and Feminism. And I am also a language, an advisory member for the Wikimedia Language Diversity Hub. And as part of this research,
okay,
I will be.
Thank you very much. I'm Joseph. I am the Akakiri, co-founder of the Gurene Wikimedia Group and a student of University of Education, Winneba second degree program.
Wonderful. Great. So before we start the interview, I would like to remind you that we are recording the interview, so try to speak one at a time and clearly. So it is very easy for people to hear you or for us to know what you said on the recording. And also remember that you are not just talking to me. I may know you, but you are talking to other people in the research team, and they may not know you as much as I do. So I will kindly advise you speak clearly. I think we lost Akakiri. Okay, thank you so much for agreeing to participate in this research. So let's go to the first question. It's going to be like a warm-up. So Akakiri, could you tell us or describe the state of your language on the internet?
Thank you very much. And for my language, which is Gurene or Frafra, to be frank, when you talk of language and the state of the language in internet, to be frank, the language is it's not written. Just this year they approve it, so which means you can't even get it in the internet. Though we have a dictionary, we have other books for the language, but when you go to internet, actually we don't. It's not written in the internet, and it's now that we are trying to digitize it through Wikimedia. But for now, the stage of the Gurene language in the internet is too, or its infancy. It's just the beginning that we are trying to do something that is not written internet.
Wow. Okay. Great. Yeah. Thanks so much for sharing. And then could you also describe how you became a contributor to Wikipedia?
Thank you very much. I became a contributor to Gurene Wikimedia through Abure and Mr. Sadiq, a language contributor to the Dabani Wikimedia group. A friend of mine called me, a brother who is working at the City TV and who is also a contributor or a co-founder, called me and we share ideas about it. And I got interested and I said, wow, if non-natives can even be concerned about my language, then why not? So I grabbed it with two hands and I share with colleagues and they also appreciate and we say, well, then we'll get involved. And through that, then we got involved and I said, no, I must be the topmost contributor because I have the language at heart. And through that, then we became contributors and I'm one of the co-founders of the language.
Wonderful. Nice to know. And then my next question is, what made you decide to participate in this research?
Thank you very much. And the aspect that got me involved or motivated most is that though I'm a student and I learn about other languages, I'm a language student and I learn about the other languages and the endangering of the language, the nature of the language, how languages get died. And I got much motivated because our language is not written. Though when you go to internet, you can find other languages. For example, English. When we have Chida and Eve, when they get there, when they give them work, they can go to the internet and search for the work and come and do the assignment. But we don't have that. And sometimes we go to rely on the book and we don't even have the books. And I say, well, then I'll be one of the people that somebody may one day make a reference to that we also make the language through the digital world so that they can also get some to do. And I say, well, if I cannot get it, then my younger generation should not come to suffer the way we are suffering. And that got me motivated and I have to get along and we are now contributing to make sure that we will have it the way we suffered, our younger generation should not come and suffer the same way.
Awesome. And thank you so much for agreeing to be part of the research. And so now my next questions would be based on technical challenges that you face. Can you describe the process of writing a Wikipedia article in your language?
Thank you very much. When we get joined, we see and we're taught how to identify whether an article is being written in your language or not. And that is, you go to the search box, you search for the name of the article. If it comes with the green color, that means it exists in the language or it exists in the system. But if it comes with the red written, then that means it's not there. So that you can click on the red, then it will open so that you will not start with what you want to write. So you will start with heading, and sometimes because the language is not written, sometimes when you leave only the heading in the language, you may not get it well, or people may not get to know about it. So sometimes you write the language and put in curly bracket and in English form, or you rather write the English form and put it in bracket and then write the language. Maybe, for example, somebody may want to look for marriage, but the person don't know the marriage for in Gurene. So if you put only for, the person may not know and go and search for it. But if you put marriage bracket Pordire or Pordire into bracket marriage, and the person did not even go to look for Pordire and put marriage there, then the person will see it in the line. And from there, you write and you come to write the source of it. Maybe, you know, English or other languages. So if you are translating, then you pick the source of, or where you get that information. Maybe you have gotten it from a book, you have gotten it from the internet, whether Wikimedia, Google, or any source that you are taking it, then you will reference to that source so that it won't look like it's your own, you know, you are taking it somewhere. And that will be plagiarism. In English, we are taught about that one. So you write the article. If it is from your own, then you can leave. But if you pick it from somewhere, then you make a reference to that one, whether from a person that narrates it, then you make a reference to, if it's a story that somebody narrates, then you reference the person. If you pick it from book or other aspect, then you make a reference to that one. And that one, in Gurene, we call the Vince Loro, that's references.
Okay, nice. Interesting. Thank you so much. And then would you describe to me, how do you select an article to write? Like when you get up and you jump onto the internet or Wikipedia, how do you choose what to write? Like what sparks your interest? What are you mostly interested in writing about?
Okay, thank you. Mostly we write about our indigenous things. We also write about personalities. Irrespective of the persons, we don't have interest in writing about them, but what it is what we are writing. For example, I want to write about my chiefs because I want people to also know how Gurene, maybe how to instain a chief. So people may not know how Gurene people instain their chief. So I want to write about the process. I want to write about the chief itself, like the successes from community, or maybe we have a dam that people do irrigation and you want to write about it. People don't know about it and you want to write about it. So you want to make the unknown known to the world. Wow. And sometimes we also the English aspect to see that, okay, there are other things that we need to also know them in the language. Our people don't, when you write them, our people will get to know about them. Or some personalities, maybe public figures. We have the president, the MPs, the DCEs, and we want to document them so that one day people will know who succeed who and who left for who to take over. And from there, we come to write. But we don't just write that, maybe I'm interested in this, let me write that way. And it may not be true, but you still have to put it that way. No.
Great.
You know that,
wonderful.
That put what it is and what it is not. Assuming I read today and they have to write, they will put it there exactly. Like in Parliament, we saw somebody, one MP chewing papers when they were electing their speakership. You don't write one person simple because it's what this person, or you rather write an other person simple because it's that person. No.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you for sharing. And then, do you usually translate articles from another language or other languages?
Yes, please.
Okay. Which language?
Mostly it's English to Gurene. And sometimes, yes, mostly, but because the other language you don't understand, you don't want to commit unless you get people who help you translate the language to English. Because if you don't understand the language and you want to translate, end up by forcing because you don't know the terminologies or the ethics within that language. So because we learn translation in school, we're told that you must be a master in both languages. Though you may master one over the other, but you must understand both languages before you can translate. For some
Okay.
to say airport and you say kose with the docker. That is the pot that you use in our community or our various homes. No.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. But my next question is, what are the major technical challenges for contributors on your language Wikipedia? For instance, it could be like the script, the keyboard, or other challenges that are related to technical or things that challenges your community in terms of technical know-how.
Thank
What
you
are the
very much.
major challenges?
Thank you very much. At the beginning, we're not having the language keyboard, that is the Charlie keyboard or the Ghana keyboard. So when you're writing, we're getting it difficult to use the correct sounds. And along the line, because we are not used to ICT, to be frank, we are BBC, born before computer. So we are not used to computer. Myself, I will do small and they'll block me. I will do small, they'll block me because I will make some attempts that I'm not supposed to do because I don't know. And because you try to make certain things, when they are even warning you, may not know, and you go beyond the threshold. And because of that, they will block, and you'll be struggling to get somebody to. And because of that, when you call the person to help unblock you and you're not getting, then you become stranded. And sometimes when you make attempt, and because we're not used to it, you can make editing today and keep more maybe a week or 2 weeks time you go there, and before you go there, they will block you. And some people were giving up, but due to the encouragement from others, we try to download the Ghana key or the Charlie keyboard to help in the writing. And with that one, we are making headway. And we're also told that we have to keep on trying small. And another point was data, because we are students, sometimes we are not also working, getting data to do the volunteer, though we are told that it's a voluntary work, and we are also happy that we are trying to digitize our language. We are not getting the data, and because of that, people were trying to do away because they are willing to do, but they are not getting the effort to do. So because of that, they were in a way. And to be frank, myself, when DN Shidobu came to our campus, I was trying to link up with my computer, but we couldn't do it. So I have now still using my phone. And sometimes, when you move with your phone, sometimes low battery, you may sit somewhere you want to do that because the battery is low, you can't do it. And sometimes we want to see that because we don't know much into it, we are getting trouble. But due to the continuously training, we are coping up with. And I think that one is last to that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So are there any special technical difficulties for your community with regards to the incubator specifically? I know you are still in the incubator. Is there any technical challenges that you face inside the incubator? For instance, like if you are writing an article, you need to add the Gurene language code, unlike the English, where you just have to go straight to the article. But it seems the incubator has a different way of getting things done. What are the major challenges that you face?
Thank you. And as I rightly mentioned, we are in the incubator, but sometimes when you try to get the characters, but as I'm saying that using the computer, you're not getting some of the characters. And because we are not technical know-how with the phones, we do sometimes trying to commit some errors. And when you try to rectify them, for example, trying to create like the headings, maybe I've something there, I want to post something like the edit. So to put something, maybe when you go to the heading, you open the link so that it will take you to that point so that you edit. For example, I have background and I will click on the background so that it will take me to the point so I can edit. When I come to the early life as a heading, so that if I click on it as a link, then I can go there and edit the early life. When I come to education, then I can click on the education and you have the edit bar there so that you can go in. I think we are not able to, that is a challenge that we are trying to. I was told that the next training will be taken through so that at least you can go through over it again so that at least we'll know how to create those links.
Thank you so much for sharing. My next question is, what devices do people in your community use more often when they are contributing to Wikipedia?
Mostly just mobile phones.
Okay.
I can say 95% is mobile phones, or 98 for the computer. Most of us, we have computers, but we are used to the phone than the computer.
Okay, cool. I think I've had other interviews with communities, and it seems some of them also share the same feeling, like how they feel comfortable editing with their mobile phone than the laptop. And that's quite strange. Like there could be like some other special challenges with regards to editing on your mobile phone as compared to laptop. But it's so nice to know that people are able to find their way around editing Wikipedia with their mobile phone. That sounds really good. So are there any other challenges related to devices? I'm asking this because, like, even with mobile phones, sometimes you want to edit, but you need to open multiple tabs. I don't think it will be very convenient, like opening multiple tabs as compared to the laptop. Can you share more about that? How do you easily navigate through your device since you are using mobile phones?
With our mobile phones, most of the times we don't go to the Google to search for them. We last created links. We have the main page, we have the categories, and we have the creating new. And those links, we just create our personal WhatsApp group and we just put it there. So whenever we want to create or we want to edit, we'll just go and tap that link and it'll just take you direct. Or else you go to now go and search for Wikimedia before it now take you to those things. And that one is actually a headache or a long way to go. So because of that, we are using the links. So when you just go, if you want to create, you will just go to create new. If you want to go to the main page, you create that one. If you want to edit, then you categories. You just go and tap that one to go through. Because we go to Google and we go through that process. Yeah.
So my next question is your community active on other Wikimedia projects? Like, we know Wikimedia has several projects, Wikipedia and all the sister projects. What, apart from Wikipedia Incubator or Wikipedia Gurene itself, do you contribute in are you active on other wikis? If so, which ones?
I can say no, but the only aspect, and most of my people, when I'm going through their works, they are also actively involved is the is it the Wikidata? Yes, the Wikidata. That's the Hayford 2, the Hayford 2. Because if you go to that one, I think number 5 is one of my late. Myself, I'm number, is it 12 or 13? Yeah? No, number 9 or 10. So I think I'm around number 9. And if you go to number 15, one of our person is also there with number 16 or 17 or so. Yes, within the team, we have up to 4 or 5 people there. Others are also down. And we have some of people who are active. If you go through the works, they are active, but of late now, some are complaining of their gadgets and especially their phones. And one of our active members, Felicia, is number 1. So she has been complaining of her phone. Sometimes she will even want to translate something. She will open it, will cut off, and the phone is freezing. Because I discussed with her brother, and I was like, then if you find a way of getting her phone, because she's an active member, and she even won when the Wiki Vibrance, she won, and the topmost contributor for ladies, she won too. So initially, we were thinking that it would be cash, so that she would just buy a phone. But along the line, got to realize that it was voucher. So she couldn't. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
China, Amuam, Plastic, Akandi, Moresta, Savelin. Oh, most of them, they are doing well. They are doing well. And I think with a little encouragement, they will do more.
Oh. Okay, so my next question is, does your community reuse or have plans to reuse projects or project materials outside Wikimedia? For example, you do photo labs campaigns like Wikilabs Folklore, Wikilabs Monument, and all of that. Do you reuse the photos that you collect or you upload to Wikimedia Commons, or do you plan to use those photos or any other Wikipedia projects outside Wikimedia?
Thank you. I would say yes, but the other way is that because we don't know much about it, that is making this wiki data thing. When we came to the Wikimedia, when we came to Tamil for the Wikimedia birthday, I think that was a day about it. And you can imagine if we were taught about it that day, and we can find a way to find number 10, then you can imagine how we will go if you get to know about the artist. For example, I can say I'm the only one apart from Roots who have featured the Wiki Commons. And along the line, I got lost when I was uploading some pictures to Wiki Commons. So take me away. And because of my thesis too, I was not having all that much time. So I was going up and down with my thesis and with the wiki to trying to make sure that the incubator gets full. So because of that, most of our people is because they don't know. That's why they are not doing. But if they get to know about it, I think they will do more.
Okay, so thank you, and I appreciate all the information that you are sharing with us.
Yes.
My next question would be this one. We are going to talk about economy, like what are the economic problems or challenges that you face. So the first question on that is, do you think the economy is a limiting factor for your community? No, for you as an individual, when you are contributing to Wikipedia, do you think the economy is a limiting factor? Does it limit you from contributing to Wikipedia?
Yes, I would say yes, because when I was on campus, most of the people, because I'm using the router, most of the people were coming around. Like they'll come around and we're using the Wi-Fi to contribute, which signifies that because they are not having the data, if not, they would have just been in their various homes to do the contribution. But because they were not having data, and I gave them that opportunity that, because I'm using the router, they can always come around and be using. And most, if you check the Wiki Vibrant, the people that got the awards were the people that were coming close all the time. So I was surprised that they even got it because all the time they were with me. So some of the things, when they get it, I will help them to get the correct way out. Or sometimes they will edit and they ask me to look through it before they will post it. And we're making it together. And it was, though it was sounds weak, yet they still find their way out to make the contribution. So I think economy is one of it's the topmost limitation to contributing to Wikimedia.
Okay, so I think that has answered my second question. I wanted to know whether the economy is a limiting factor for your community, and I do understand that aside from the challenge that you face with regards to economy, as an individual, there's also a general challenge with community. And thank you for sharing that. Can you estimate how much you use per month if you use mobile data to contribute to Wikipedia? How much on average do you pay for internet data when you are contributing to Wikipedia?
Thank you very much. But if I had to use myself to estimate, because we are using other things, but if you only want to talk of wiki media, at least 100 to 150 will be possible, because at least, I always put in the page that at least if you cannot even do 30 minutes to 1 hour, it's okay, a day, at least 30 minutes. So when you are even coming to sleep, you can just take your phone, try to do something up to 30 minutes. And when it's getting interest, you may not even know the time is gone. Before you realize you have an hour, 30 minutes before you put it there. So because we are also using it for other things, though it consumes data. But when we talk about wiki, at least 100 to 150 will be possible. That everybody will be up.
Great. Thank you so much. And my next question is, do educational institutions in your region use your language as one of the medium of instruction?
Yes, it's approved now. So they are started.
Okay, great. Congratulations. Now let's talk about this. Are people really encouraged or discouraged to speak your language in educational institutions in your community? Like, and in your community, like I know for Dagbani, like, or other languages, in Ghana, at the basic level, they encourage kids or young people to speak their local language. But when they get to primary and then junior high school, it becomes like a vernacular. And then, sorry, they cannot speak, they are discouraged to speak the language. Can you tell me if this is the same for Gurene? Like, are people discouraged or encouraged to speak the language in educational institutions and in your community? When I say your community, I also mean like in their homes. Do they encourage kids to speak Gurene language, or they are discouraging them and parents want their kids to be speaking English or other languages, even in the community?
Thank you very much. I will say yes, and to the extent, and I will not say no, because especially when it was not a medium of instruction, people were like, so if it have relevance, why are they not using it? Or if it is important, why are they not using it? So people, especially in school, there's if you speak it, they'll say vernacular and they'll even punish you. And some homes, they were not encouraging it. But as we speak now, we have unions and organizations that are going around even advocating for it. I learned this last most beautiful pageant. They asked the contestant from Upper East, just say something in the language, but she couldn't, and they disqualify her. And people are using that one as a yardstick now to send a signal to the community that if you think it is not of importance, or if you think it of no value, then you can imagine at that national level, they have to even use it and disqualify somebody. So they are telling people the importance of it, the values of it, and people are now wailing. I think people are happy now. Especially when going to do my teaching practice, you can imagine when it's time, the students themselves will even come and call me, and people were happy because it's not of instruction. And per the message that we send out, we used to compare like other things. When you go to Asante or the dancer, the tree, they will write and they'll get one, and they'll be happy that their grades will come down like best grade. Maybe you have gotten 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and that one is 1. It will break down your grade to a good grade. But because you are not, tree is not your language, and you're forced to write it, you end up getting it to 8 or 9. Like 7 plus that one, you get somewhere 10, and that will not be the best. So people are eager, they are even more eager than now because the NGOs like the 9 schools, they are, I think that.
Great. Great. So the last question on economy,
And for now,
education.
Grounds.
Okay, so my last question on education: do you have existing or do you plan to collaborate with educational institutions? If so, can you share more about them? Are you already in partnership with educational institutions, or do you plan to collaborate with educational institutions?
Yes, I can say we are on the halfway with them because they ask for materials to the extent that we're able to provide, and they are not making Gurene examinable. And we are now trying to partner with other relevant institutions or organizations that look into education so that one day, as we are now moving, or we are not at the infancy level, or because they are not making the exam, it will not get to a day that they will say, no, they are canceling Gurene or Fafa again, so that we will ever grow, but we will not retrogress again.
Wonderful. Now let's go to my fifth question, which has to do with social. How would you describe the diversity in terms of gender, age, geography, educational level of the contributors in your community? How would you describe them? The percentage, how many percentage of your community members are male or are identified as male? How many of them are identified as female? How old are they? Where do they normally base, like in terms of geographical location? And then their educational level.
Thank you. And I will start with the age. I think I can say from age 22 to 35 to 37. From age 22 to 37. And most of them are students. Mostly it's school that always take them to dance half. That's whenever, and they are always back home to Balaga, that's the geographical location. And in terms of gender, I can rate 60-40, 60 for female and 40 for male. Though other people, yes, other people above age 40 are now getting in contact with us to learn to create accounts with us and to learn how to also do the translation and contribution. And I'm even planning, I'm organizing them to get them a way out so that we can do. Because some I will try to create for them, but they say account block, and I will have to forward them to one of our co-founders, that's Daniel Abugre, who is working at the city TV station newsroom. And most of our people too, especially those that are already teaching, they are also doing well in the other way around, but they are not part of the contributors, and some are also developing interest, but they are also saying because of time, and most of them, because they are just employed newly, they are trying to settle before. They are trying to settle down before.
Okay, cool. And then my next question is, does your community participate in Wikimedia event outside your own community or engage with other Wikimedia communities? Why? Why do you participate in those programs, and why not if you don't? For example, Wikimedia, Wiki Indaba, Wikimedia hackathons, and other competitions like Wikilabs Monument. Does your community participate in any of this?
I would say no, and the no in the reason is that we don't know much about. It's now that we are learning, and so we are eager to do, but we don't have the capacity, and that is about the learning. And that's why I even give recommendation in the form that we send out to see the wake up call about how far we have gone with the training. And I make a recommendation. We have to also have a series of training so that we will learn about things as we are going. Though we can't learn all at a go. It's a process, not an event. So as we are learning, we will learn to know about other things so that we always also participate.
Great.
In the last that we had, it was taken note about, and so that we will go going forward, we'll see what to do about it.
Okay, thank you so much. I know your community is pretty young,
Sure.
but can you describe how the community has developed in the last few years or months? What are your top priorities for the future?
For the past few months, we have been in the incubator, though we wish by now we would have been out of the incubator, but because all wishes are not horses, that's why we are still there. But our topmost priority is to get out of the incubator, and that will be very soon, though we task ourselves to do so. And the last time I even told Abu that if this competition that always comes with this huge amount, because $100 is not small with 70 and 50, then sometimes you can always break it down for every man so that we always have a competition. And sometimes people are eager or are motivated when they're winning prizes. So maybe we can use 100 alone for 1 month and another 70 for another month and the other 50 for another month. At least we will always award first, second, third. So assuming you are taking the 100, you can say maybe 50, 30, 20 for the first month. And when you come to the 70, you may take like 30, 20, or 30, 25, 15, or 35, 20, and 15, and 10. So at least you will always be active at all times. But some human being, when you are left alone, then you don't, though others will, the others will feel reluctant. But when they have it all the time competition, at least if you did not get it this month, you will wish to get the next month. So you'll be active to get it the next month.
Wonderful. So what are your top priorities for the future, the Gurene Wikimedia community?
To get out of the incubator to be the mainstream so that people will know about us.
Okay, that's very interesting. I wish you all the best on that. And my third question relates to other matters. Is there anything that you like to mention to us that is related to this interview, but I didn't mention it during my conversation? Is there anything that you like to say about your language, community, and all of that?
Okay, thank you. I will say we really appreciate the contribution or the effort to make Gurene to the digital world through the Bani Wikimedia. That's our mother language or a mother union group from the Wikimedia, our people are also trying their best to do. And as we rightly mentioned about the funding, we wish that if the funding is not even coming all the time for us to get the data, that at least we should always have the training continuously. At least, if not twice a month, at least once a month or 2 months, we always have a training so that we learn one thing at a go. So when we learn, so we always access through the Wikimedia or the incubator. Maybe we learn Wikidata today and we assess ourselves 1 month time. You can assess to know whether we are doing well or not, so that we know where to go. So maybe we learn wiki relevance, wiki commerce, and as time goes on, and when you get to know about it, then it sticks. And the other way, also encourage our people, though it's a voluntary job, and today that is a voluntary work, they should try to sacrifice to do. So one day, our children or grandchildren will come to say, wow, my grandfather or my grandmother contributed this, and you have to also applaud them and continue where we stop. And one day, as we always say, our language, our language is our topmost pride. And we wish to move it to the whole world for the world to know that Gurene or Prafra is a language of people, and people can know and read about it and know the most important things, the relevance and the interesting aspect of the Gurene that people don't know, that is hidden in the world that people don't know. And I would say thank you very much. We really appreciate as you're doing a good job. You should keep it up.
Yeah, I think I have one more question. That is to wrap everything up. So all in all, what would you consider the top 3 challenges for your Wikipedia community to grow? Try to make them like, describe them, rank them the highest. So what are the top 3 challenges for your language community?
Number 1 is finance. Number 2 is the technical know-how. It's because we don't know. And number 3 is time. Because it's new, we don't have much time for it. So if we also get the financing and we try to learn to know and we have time for it, and I think we can grow as a community.
Wow. Thank you so much. So this marks the end of the interview, and I'm really, really happy about all the new development happening in the Gurene Wikimedia community within the last few months since they started creating articles in the incubator and have also translated the media wiki messages. And I want to also thank you for your time and sharing all the challenges with us. And while the outcome of this interview will be shared with other communities to learn from your experiences and what the challenges are and how they can, navigate through those challenges. At the same time, as a language hub, we want to be able to hear more from your communities and then see how best we can support you in so many ways to be able to get your languages up on Wikipedia since they are still in the incubator. And I want to appreciate everything that you do as an individual and also as a community. We are very much excited to have you on this research, and we look forward to learning and sharing with you the outcome of the research, especially those from the other communities. And I want to thank you again. My name is Sadek Shahadu. I'm the West Africa Language Coordinator at Art and Feminism, and also a steering committee member for the Wikimedia Language Diversity Hub. I represent Art and Feminism on this research, and we are very happy about all the new developments that are happening within the West African language communities. So this is the end of the interview, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, my brother and the boss. As I already said, I am Gurene Joseph Akakiri. It's my name. A student from the University of Winneba, doing my master's degree, and a co-founder of Gurene Wikimedia Community. And our ultimate aim is to get Gurene known to the whole world through Wikimedia, and for us people to know that yes, Gurene is a language of people, and the most important aspect of Gurene and the most interesting things about Gurene that people don't know, want to know to the world. Thank you, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.